All right, talk us through this 1500. None of us on this panel here know anything about the 1500.
I
Not anymore. I chose to kind of get rid of it out of my brain after 20 years of pain doing this race. So I don't know. I think this one's this is really wide open. Obviously Paltrinieri, defending champion. His 800 wasn't great. He's got to be ahead of the rest of the field if he wants to have any chance of bringing it home. The guys in the middle like Wellbrock, if they're all kind of locked together, that last 50, it's all over for Paltrinieri. So, Romanchuk, I think he's probably going to be the number one favourite for this one. But I think it's going to be a duel the whole way. I'm not sure if anyone's got the guts to actually take it out hard and dominate from start to finish. And if they do try and do that, you'll see Paltrinieri start to really move up through 400 or 500 meters and start to claw away from everyone. So, yeah, strategically, it's really hard to call what this race is going to look like.
What was your strategy going into this in the Olympic finals? What were you thinking?
Every single final, except for the one I completely stuffed up in Beijing, was just to go out hard, break everyone, make everyone kind of race for second. And then for some reason, after winning for over a decade, I decided not to do that, which was a bit silly. But yeah, that's what I would normally try and do, because then everyone starts adjusting their pace to race everybody else. And once you put them in that position, it just allows you to focus on your race. And every time you turn, you just try and push people back a little bit more, or at least maintain that lead.
Yeah, it was pretty much the same strategy I had in the 50. Try and break them early. Didn't work.
Well, if you can start like Dressel, you can do that no problems.
Yeah, God, how's that? What a cheat code that is.
How do you get off that quick and do underwater like that? Like
it's not so much his reaction; it's the way he gets in the water, his trajectory, and then his dolphin kick, the way he comes out of it. But man,
yeah, his breakout, the way he combines his dolphin kick and then his first stroke, he just powers through. It's insane. So.
Who's your pick here then? If you're picking a gold, silver, bronze, Hackett, right now, who is it?
I think Paltrinieri definitely gets a medal. I don't think he wins this one. I think Wellbrock's in the medals. Probably Romanchuk, I reckon, is gonna take this one. Okay. So I'm finding this one a really, really hard one to pick. Really hard. And it's just like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how these guys kind of stick together.
Are you in the water yet?
Yep, they're in the water here. Just gone through the first 50. Coming down.
When you talk about momentum, don't you think Bobby Finke has quite a ton? Because he's been having a heck of a meet. So I feel like he's got that confidence going into this 1500 that he might pull out a medal here.
Yeah, can I understand what you guys do in like the 5 weeks from trials to Olympics? Because like the whole US team seems to drop like so much time. Like we've had a good run. Like there's no doubt about it. I think the strategy of having the trials closer to the Olympics has been better. But like, I mean, just looking at the 200 freestyle, like going from like 146 at one trials, then all of a sudden you guys are leading off in a relay in 144. It's just insanity.
Tony, what's the secret here, mate?
Well, I chalk up that one to just the college experience and kind of the expectation that you're going to swim beyond yourself when you're on a relay. That's just something we kind of grow up with, I feel like, and it lasts through the collegiate system until you end up on the Olympic team. And a lot of these guys this time around are actually much younger than had been trending in the last few games.
Gary, is there something that they preach in particular once you're on the US team that enables you to lift at the games?
I think a lot of it's just the environment, the adrenaline, there's not a crowd here, obviously, but it's just something that's built up so much still valued in our culture. I don't want to say that it isn't valued elsewhere in other countries, but it's just, I think there's a history, a legacy type of thing that we're expected to live up to, and achieving that and being part of Team USA. I mean, being in that setting, it's just such a positive environment, such a can-do. We've done it before. We know what we're doing. We're going to represent our country, and it works. I mean, it does. I mean, when you step up on the blocks, there's a surge of adrenaline. especially when there's a relay. When you know we're sold on that. And Anthony's totally right on that one. NCAA's prepares us in that way, how to be a relay swimmer and step up.
Gary, this has nothing to do with swimming, but you're an extremely good-looking man. I don't know if you know that. That mustache, I mean, everything is working.
The burden bread. Thank you.
I'm just putting it out there. I'm just telling you what everyone's thinking right now.
I don't know. I thought he was good looking when he was swimming, but it just seems to improve over time.
See?
Like, it's
See?
amazing.
I
Every time
can't say about you, Grant. You know, you're a beautiful man. I love you.
Yeah. You're probably more ripped than even when you were swimming. If you had your shirt off right now, I'm sure too. Like, it's just there's more and more to get jealous about.
Grant, let's take our shirts off right now. I'll show you.
No.
I'll show you if you show me.
I was never ripped even when I was swimming. That's the
I
problem.
think I logged into the wrong show. What is going
Oh,
on?
hell, look, I can't believe they're swimming at 1,500 right
It's
now.
the 1500 right now, yeah.
Tony's
Grant, what's
I would
happening
never
on your
forget.
picture, mate? Talk to us.
No, it's quite funny. I think, Paltrinieri tried to take it out, tried to establish a lead, and no one's letting him do that. They're all sticking to him like glue because they know if they let him go, he's going to, if he gets kind of like a body length or two ahead of him, it gets really hard to pull back because his pace is so good, right? He gets in such a good rhythm, you know, just getting in from wall to wall. But it's not going to happen today. I think Wellbrock, you've got, you know, Romanchuk, they're just sticking right there with him. And even Paltrinieri started to drop off the pace a little bit now. And even Wellbrock's starting to make a bit of a move. And he's probably got about 3/4 of a body length on Romanchuk right now.
Hackett, what have you been doing lately? Have you been calling any of this anywhere, or what's been happening for you?
So for me, besides kind of working full time, each morning I've been doing our morning TV here, just sort of doing a recap of the results. And obviously it's like the racing's in the middle of the day here in Australia. So just giving a bit of a preview into everything that's taking place. So yeah, no, it's been a really cool week. I can't believe how well the team's performed. You know, a lot of the time you come into these meets and you can see how strong the team is on paper. And as everybody on this call is well aware of, regardless of how good you look on paper, whether you're 1, 2, 3, or 7th, it doesn't matter. It's if you can produce that performance on the day. And I kind of feel like our team this week fueled each other. You know, it started off with the women's relay, and then we saw, you know, Kaylee McEwen do her thing in the backstroke. Even getting second in the 400-meter freestyle with Jack McLaughlin, I think that was a big step up for him. So I think that sort of fueled the whole team this week, just those first couple of days that we saw. And obviously Ariane Titmus, I mean, you know, Katie Ledecky is just one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen, full stop. So the fact that she was able to, you know, get on top of her in that 400-meter freestyle was such a good battle. I think that just kind of boosts the morale of everybody and gives everyone the confidence that they can, you know, swim fast when they need to.
Yeah. Tony, you've had that rare distinction of being teammates with Katie Ledecky. What makes her so special, you think?
Katie Ledecky, the girl just knows how to work hard and stay focused. Right? Like I remember even in 2012, the way she kind of just like zoomed in like a laser as just a kid, really, and win that first gold medal. And that part of her hasn't changed at all, even though she's become a little bit more like easy in front of the media, talking and sharing that part of herself. I still like around the pool deck, she's very just.
Yeah, gotcha. Hackett, let's go back to this race here. It looks, it's tight, mate. There's, you know, 4 across the pool here, just swimming stroke for stroke.
Absolutely. I think these guys, no one's going to make a move from here. What are we, you know, kind of starting to get to the midpoint. If no one's making a move right now, they probably won't until at least, I reckon, the 1,000-meter mark, like around 700-800 meters in a 1,500. It's not a good idea to start moving them because, to be totally honest, it just makes the last 300 or 400 meters so mentally draining. So I think these guys are going to just try and shoulder one another, probably up into the 1,000-meter mark. 1,000 meters, 1,100 meters, you could see one of them make a move. But right now, they're just pacing off each other and yeah, there's not too much in it. And I think Paltrinieri's in a bit of trouble. If he's not able to get up next to these guys and start to make a little bit of a move, he might even get in the places. But certainly Wellbrock, like Florian, he looks really good, really smooth, really balanced in the water. not overdoing the legs too. One of the things that I used to try and do coming into each of the walls, because obviously you can't 6-beat kick the whole way because your leg muscles are so big, you just got to build up the lactate. I just kick into the wall to build up the speed, with a 6-beat kick, come out, do the one dolphin kick, 6-beat out about for 15 meters, then go back into a 2-beat kick. So you can kind of see the athletes that have a little bit less leg contribution and can swim more off their arms. Generally, they're not going to fatigue as quick. And a couple of these guys are doing that really well right now. And this is a good race.
Yeah, this is a cracker race, 4 across. You don't see this very often in the 1500 at the Olympics. There's usually some separation between the top couple, and we've got 4 across here. This is a great race.
Yeah, I got a question. Grant, as an expert, like psychologically, that Finke is like right there with them. And his final 50 of the 800, he just devastated them. Like, what are these other guys thinking, knowing that he's right there with them?
You don't want to be with someone who is going to fly home. The best way I can actually relate to that from his experience was when, I think on 4 or 5 occasions, I've broken a world record but finished second behind Thorpe. And I knew every single time if I was going to turn with him at the last 50, it was going to be not impossible. I never thought like that, but really tough. Like the 800 back in 2001 at the World Champs, I came home in like 26 mid, which was, I think, faster than everybody besides him in the 200 meter freestyle. He decided to come home in like 25 mid. So if you've got someone that can go kind of from 4th or 5th gear and drop it straight into second and bring it home and really drive the legs, you want to make sure you've got at least a body length on them. I mean, it's the same when kind of Ariane and Katie were swimming. Katie knew that she needed a gap going into that last 100 or that last 50, because if you can't change gears that quick, then you've got to make sure that you establish a lead on them. But psychologically, it's really, I wouldn't say draining, but I always find it really challenging. Every time you try and pull away and you make a little move and then they kind of turn, or they just, put a little bit more leg contribution in and they get up next to you, you're like, damn it, I can't do it, because obviously it's fatiguing every time you try and make that move. So you only get so many opportunities throughout the event to try and break away when their pace is really similar to yours through that middle part of the race.
Let's say this, Hackett. Let's say it does come down to a final flip turn. Like, what do you do? Like, then, I mean, I don't know. I've never swum this race, so like you're 4 across the pool and you're flipping with 3 other guys. It just comes down to who wants it the most, or is it what else is involved there?
If I was in this race right now, what I would be thinking is I would break early. And I'm like, if you can take more pain than me, then you can beat me. I wouldn't wait until the last 50. I'd go like 200 meters out and I would start just putting the legs on and having a crack, and just because everyone's hurting, everyone's just absolutely just trying to get from one stroke to the next. So I think if you can break someone early and they go with you, it's like who can take the most pain. And I would probably welcome that because I quite enjoyed that part of training.
You could take a little pain, mate, I'd imagine.
I should deal with you as a roommate for a while, so I can take a heap of pain.
Exactly. I don't doubt
But that's the only way I would split this up, particularly if you got someone like Finke who's going to dump a 27 low probably on the last 50. It's like remove his ability to be able to do that. And the only way you can do that is to go earlier than what you normally would in these types of races.
So do you think that, like, for somebody like Finke who has a great last 50, he knows that his competitors know that, and so he's going to stay on their hip to mess with them more in this? Or is it just like they're swimming their own race and they're going to try and pull away when they can?
Yeah, I reckon with Finke, I reckon that the best way to do that is every time they go to make that move is move right next to him. Because then you start to crush them mentally, because then they're like, oh my God, I can't break him. I can't move away from him. And then they stop attempting to do it. So therefore he knows he can bring it home over the top of him at the end. So that's the only way you would try and do that. And right now, no one's giving anything. I mean, obviously we can see is that Paltrinieri's kind of fallen well off the pace now. He's not going to get a medal. And these guys are just going stroke for stroke. I like how Wellbrock is just kind of keeping just a little bit ahead of them, just keeping the edge on them. So what
Yeah.
are we going through 12:45 here, just going through the 1,300 meter mark. This is where you should go. This is where someone should make a move now between these three top guys.
Wellbrock's legs are going. He's definitely giving a little bit more, I think, than the other two.
Yeah.
So Wellbrock's world champ from a couple of years ago, and Romanchuk was second, and Paltrinieri third.
Yeah, Fink looks like he's just kind of in cruise control to me. I don't know.
He's waiting to pounce.
I mean, he really has that
really well.
game on them.
Yeah, see, everyone's bringing the legs in a little bit more now. Everyone's sort of 150 out, has tried to make a little bit of a move. You can see there the wash is, increased, and everyone's stroke rates lifted a little bit more. But these guys are still going stroke for stroke. And, man, Florian, he's given nothing. He's moved away a little bit now. He's probably got about half a body length almost. And they've just crept up a bit on the turn. Fink's moving up now. 6 beat legs coming in. Wellbrock, he looks good. He looks strong. Whoa. Robert's moving. They're all moving. This is awesome.
Come on,
Most
Hackey.
excitement I've had in a 1,500 ever.
Come on, Hackey. Come on, Hackey. This is what I would do.
Come on, boys. Get me in there.
Put me in, coach. Put me in.
Oh, Wellbrook's taking a move
Look
here.
at that.
Yeah.
0.7. He's got.
No.
Turn.
Fink's legs are
Look at this.
ridiculous
Look at this.
now.
Fink's dumped it. He's put it on. He's coming under
Fink's just
27
absolutely
flat.
gone.
Oh, look at the legs. Looks like the men's.
It looks like
freestyle.
it's going to come down to the last bit.
Oh,
Oh, he's got it.
Oh!
He smashed him. Whoa. 14:39.
Wellbrock looked like he went a little early.
Well,
Oh, wow.
29 laps of a 30-lap race. He led.
Look at Fink.
Bobby Fink.
There you go.
Look at this finish.
How was that?
USA. USA.
Come on.
Damn.
Man.
Bobby.
Did the girl that knows nothing about the mile call it?
Yes,
I think I did.
Yeah.
Absolutely smashed it.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
retire from commentating on
Bravo.
any 1,500-meter freestyle ever again. But that was the thing, right? Like we said, if those guys didn't move away and someone's got more speed and changes gears, you don't stand a chance against that.
How do you finish a mile with that kind of speed? How?
It says 25.7 in the comment section on that last message.
Are you kidding me? 25.7?
That's crazy.
Wow.
See, that's kind of like, then the way I look at that, that's like a, not that anyone sort of likes to mention the name too often, but that's a Sun Yang sort of last lap, right? Like that's sitting there the whole way, being in a really good rhythm, keeping your heart rate low, like making sure on your exhales, really important to keep your heart rate low through those other 29 laps, just so then you've got that change of speed. And if you can change speed like that and come home like you're a 200 or a 100 swimmer, like that's just insanity.